Jeff, as a pacer, you paced Jeff to second place. How did it go for you out there? What was your experience joining on the last lap for such an epic battle?
Yeah, it was an epic battle. Dan Green put on a show in chasing down and hunting us. It was a lesson in patience. I was trying to get Jeff to jumpstart a little bit and start pushing earlier, knowing that third place was closing in on us and the ticket was his to lose. It didn't really kick in until we were caught at Jackass Junction, where all of a sudden Jeff was like, oh, we can't run 8:30s, we have to run 7-minute pace.
Yeah.
And we proceeded to run 7-minute pace from there to the finish or faster, which was awesome. But it is one of those, like, 90 miles into a race, you want to feel pretty comfortable, and to then all of a sudden realize like you're in full-on panic mode. When the flip switched, it really switched in a good way, and I think we brought a 25-yard lead into like a 4-minute spread at the finish. So we look at the last 4 miles. David Roach split 7:55 pace. Dan Green split 7:33. You lit some fire under Jeff Mogavero. 7:02 pace. 7:02. I thought we were even a little faster, but I thought we were sub 7. But that's good. Yeah.
Within the margin of error.
Yeah, we were cracking some like 640s in there, and he was like, when I finish, my legs aren't going to work. And I was like, that's the point.
Yeah.
We're here for that.
You got 10 months to recover. You're fine.
Yeah.
So from the pacer perspective, we sort of talked to Dan about this from his side of the coin. When that fire sort of got lit at Jackass Junction, was it more you putting the onerous on? Was it Jeff putting the onerous on? Like, oh shit, we got to go, and you're like trying to reel him back to like not do too much and let the the what do you call the adrenaline kick in? Like, how was that dynamic between you two to sort of like get him to the finish line in one piece in the way that made the most sense?
I think I was the adrenaline was lit with me, like the second we got out on that loop, and when Dan and his pacer Alex caught us at Jackass Junction, I had just given Jeff like the full sponge treatment, and he was running out. I went back to fill up a bottle, and those guys came in, and so I looked them like square in the eye this far away and just sprinted out of there. At that point, I caught Jeff and I was behind him, and I was like, they're right here, and you could see the adrenaline just like go in him. Up to that point, I had been leading him, trying to like get him to stay on my pace. From that point, pretty much to the finish, he led me, and I was just hot on his shoulder, telling him like, you cannot let up an inch. For the next 30 minutes, I was telling him like, hey, we still have a 40-yard spread. Like, they're still right there, even if they were maybe a little bit further back, and just like trying to impress the importance that he had to lean into it, to embrace that discomfort and really go for it. Those guys, for 15 minutes, we ran with a 30-yard gap. Yeah. Where they were, it was both parties kind of made the same call at the same time, which was, even though it was just barely, sunset, both groups turned our headlamps on. It was like, we're not trying to hide from anyone. We can just see each other blatantly. Let's make sure we can see the ground as good as possible so that we can run this in as fast as possible. Yeah,
because we were wondering, was there going to be some headlamp off or on or off situation tactics there? But actually, we looked at the estimate for 7:02. That was actually because Jeff missed the Rattlesnake Ranch check-in point because someone dropped the headlamp in front of him. He went to dodge this runner and actually skipped it, so didn't check through. So we were unsure if he was out there at all. But that 7:02 was from Jackass to the finish.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah. I think from Rattlesnake's the last aid station.
Yeah.
I think Rattlesnake to the finish, we were more like 6:47, 6:50. Like, I don't think we had a single mile out of the like high 6:40s.
Because so then you brought
We gave 9 minutes on route on David from Jackass to the finish.
Yeah.
Just real quick, because I know folks in the chat we're bigging him up. We did have a Matt Healy finish finally. He did make it in one piece, so shout out to Cape Town and to South Africa. Your boy finished.
Let's go, Matt Healy.
What a warrior, Matthew Colleen, it says.
So
that is right.
So from your sort of broad perspective, right? Now we sort of have this like Denver Boulder versus Montana contingent that's like building itself around Western states. Listen, talk trash. Where's your head at? Like, what's making Montana special right now as a sort of like unsung, like hotbed of talent right now? And like,
he's actually from Colorado, so
I'm fully aware.
I'm just smiling because I'm like, well, where's Jim from? Where's Rod from?
Yeah.
What about Salt Lake? I don't think there's a lot of strength in Denver and Boulder. There's a ton of strength in Colorado, Arizona, California, like perennial powerhouses for ultra running. Missoula has a great training group, and today, I think they were really hoping to go home with 2 golden tickets with Aaron Clark and Jeff. To have Jeff and Adam both running in Western States next year will be really special. I gave Chris Brown this look of like, where do your allegiances fall here between Rod, Adam, and Jeff? And he was like, I think I'm busy that day. But there's a ton of talent, in Colorado for sure. There's localized, hotbed of talent in Montana right now, which is really special. I think we'd be remiss to overlook Salt Lake
for sure.
And also, the returning champion has already registered, and he's got a pretty good track record.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I do think that other people can beat Jim, and Rod put him toe to toe this year. Yeah. Certainly will be a lot of excitement around David Roche and how hot his last 8 weeks has been. I think he could do great things at the Western States course.
Who else do we have from Salt Lake City beyond Caleb?
Tyler's passing on it, but we've got Caleb. I think we'll see. Got some more golden ticket opportunities ahead. There's definitely enough talent there to fill out some of those spots.
And then I wonder, actually we just saw someone sprinting across the finish line. That may have been our F12, Anna Gunderson. We shall see when it updates. Then on the women's side, what regions have a lot of numbers already committed to Western States? From the aforementioned Montana group, just Erin?
Erin's not. She doesn't have a ticket.
Third.
Fourth. Yep.
That was a test. You're ready to be behind the mic.
It's like I got to see who's actually officially entered at Western at this point. Not a whole lot of anybody.
Early days yet.
Yeah.
A few weeks away from the lottery.
Yeah, I know Emily Hoggood entered. I heard that she was the first of the returnees to.
And I guess we can claim Emily as a Californian.
As California, I think so.
Yeah.
We'll see about Chinese athletes coming back to Western States, but definitely a lot of strength there.
I haven't got on the men's side. I'm unsure what Shen's situation is now. I just saw him last week. Did some workouts with him over in Colorado, but he's hungry for a sub 15 and a podium finish there.
It feels like there's more. I mean, you guys would know this more intimately than I, but it does feel like there's just more geographic diversity in terms of where the elite women are coming from versus the elite men. And I don't know if that's sort of like selection bias, like the men are tending to move towards each other. Like Salt Lake City's kind of blown up in the last 3 years, it feels like. Obviously, the Boulder boys are sort of a new nexus of individuals. It's kind of hard to peg down. Like, you still have like Casey just in the middle of nowhere, right? Like in flyover states, still doing her thing.
You talk about geographical diversity. Like, we have so many international people finishing top 10 of the women year after year after year. In the men, is it just Shen? Who else am I missing? Ryan Sands has won it before. I guess Francois.
You got Dan
Jones, New Zealand.
Who?
Dan Jones.
Who?
Dan Jones.
This is a music reference. I know you don't. I saw that look in your eyes, and that's what I'm here for, Patty. You're okay. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a very fun Western States. I think we've talked so much throughout the day around how much more dialed in, not even just the elites at this point. Like, we're well into just like age group people living their life that are getting really on the ball with nutrition, hydration, shoe tech and everything. The Western States is going to just be bananas with all of this coming to a head because, other than Havelina, most of these races are also shorter distances that are golden ticket races. And then it's like, can you piece it together over the course of 100 miles? Havelina folks sort of have an advantage. Like, you've already had to do it once, especially in today's temperatures. Like, it looks like if you did well today, you should overperform at Western. Like, logically, that's what the operating hypothesis should be. But you were out there, and this is also you've lived this sort of cycle before.
I mean, I love talking about Western States, and I love the focus around it. I do think Javelina is an amazing race. This is my first time here, and I think maybe the coolest part about Javelina is pretty much anyone can get into it and come and run it.
Yeah.
And there's definitely no environment like this at Western States.
Yeah.
This is so special, and I no slight toward Western States. It is, an amazing, legacied race with so much history, and the crowds, the race organizers, everything about it is amazing. But I do think the accessibility of it, is some of what builds the allure of it. And yeah, today we had a lot of folks doing everything they could to get one of those 2 golden tickets to get into that race.
Yeah.
But today was also really special because Havelina is awesome. Man, I'm sad it's taken me so many years to get down here.
I couldn't agree more.
Folks, don't sell this race short by any means. It is super cool, and the 20 miles I got to run of it were incredibly gorgeous. I got sunset in the desert, which you can't really ask for better than that. Mm-hmm. Every single color, and then the stars coming out, and very different vertical profiles. I would say logistically and from a headspace perspective, this race is super simple, and Western States is super complicated.
Yep.
And crewing this race is it almost feels like you're crewing a 50K in some ways because you get 5 chances to do it.
Yeah.
Western States, you're vying for parking. It's an absolute nightmare, and it's this moving migration of cars and people trying to help their runners across the state of California. So there's a lot of differences. I think the similarities come down to they're really special environments. But for folks who ran today in 97 degree heat, this is the hottest year on record here. That's going to be a really beneficial thing to have experienced when it comes to Western States.
Sure.
I don't think you're going to get the quad fatigue replication at a race like this that you'll get at Western States. But just not to beat around the bush, David Roche ran an amazing race and looks like he is in a position, if he keeps things up, to have maybe a new all-time best Western States debut, which I think Caleb Olson got last year.
Yeah.
And Riley Brady looks primed to go back to Western States and FSU,
For sure.
which is not Florida State University. That's mess some stuff up.
I'm stealing that for sure. Just to level set and bring folks up to speed, we did see Anna Gunderson finish. We also, just 3 minutes later, had Megan Guler finish. So our representative from msruntheus.org coming through F13 and 39th overall. almost 80 minutes under her goal time of breaking 20
hours.
So shout out to her, and shout out to the whole crew at msruntheus.org. Check them out for all the special things they're doing to help folks with multiple sclerosis live independent, healthy lives. So I got a question for you, sir. We've talked a lot about pacer and crew sustainability, and you mentioned that like you had to go back and fill up your own water bottle. What did you notice out there, like in your own experience, or just like what you witnessed happening at the different aid stations? Is this the sort of race where it's easy to fall into the trap of pacers and crew not taking care of themselves, or did you think like, you know, folks did a pretty good job? Like, what was your sense as somebody who like ran it and also like was on the outside the studio actually checking on people? Yeah,
the comfort that you get in the Havelina Jed quarters here, there's tents and there's shade, and you know, throughout the day as I was crewing, I had access to shade. I like had ready access to water, food, whatever, and I would remind myself like stay out of the sun. But the second I started pacing and actually got out on the course with Jeff, there is zero shade.
Yeah.
In like a real way where you're not going to get a single bit of shade until the sun goes down. And it like, you know, you feel your ice bandana basically dry up in the first hour you're out there. As a pacer, I'm not getting my own ice bandana filled. I'm lucky if I'm filling my own bottles just because my priority is my runner and getting them through as quickly as possible.
Right.
If Jeff had ice bandana, bottles full, and the nutrition he needed, we would leave together. So yeah, it's a little bit of a balance. Think the comfort around the headquarters is super nice. You know, again, with contrast or comparison to Western States, that's another race where crew notoriously end up getting dehydrated, sunburned, or like heat stroke.
Being there.
Yeah. But you don't necessarily have this like base where you can sit comfortably in a chair and watch the live stream and like get a smoothie.
Yeah.
But
You've really got a remarkable experience here at your first Havelina. You've crewed, you've paced, you're behind the mic.
I danced with just like 4 other folks dancing for like probably 45 minutes. Just under the disco ball, having a time. Jeff was like post-race, like basically in a fetal position, like not nonverbal, not moving. And I was like, well, you don't need me. Like fully resorted to the baby stage, like before babies can crawl.
Yeah.
Where we're like, should we worry about him? It's like, well, he's not mobile, so he's not going anywhere.
He can hold a golden ticket, it's fine.
Yeah. Let's go dance. I still so in awe of Jubilee and what she's able to put on and the energy she brings. I think I've seen like 12 different outfits today.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It's good first experience.
Yeah. When are you going to come back and race it?
You know what? This might be a fun one for me to continue coming back and crewing and pacing. I don't know if I want 5 loops.
I know.
But
I've had the same opinion myself. It's a race I think I would do well at, but I think I would hate existence with the 5 loops.
Yeah. You know, the allure of running a fast 100 is certainly there. I don't really want to run Tunnel Hill or like do a 100 on a track.
Yeah.
So for me, this would be like that fast 100. Running 100 sub 13 would be, I think, just really cool to see like test yourself in that way. So there's some allure. I also think like from a crewing pacing perspective, I feel like I could show up here with a very, still want a dialed crew, but a crew that maybe couldn't do the entire logistics of Western States.
Yeah. It's a cool way to engage your family, get them involved.
Bring other friends and family, and it's like this is a very fun event to be at.
Yeah.
And that's like not always the case with ultras as a spectator or crew.
All right, so I gotta ask some very Havelina related questions. 1, what was the best costume you saw? And 2, you come back next year in a crew pacer role. Now you know you got to come with a costume. What's your vibe? What's your MO? Do you have like a go-to costume? Or do you like where's your muse right now?
Gosh, there were a couple folks who really committed to the costume. The guy who was dressed like in the full
blue,
head to toe blue with like, I don't know what he was, but that was commitment in like
a flash,
very real way.
Yeah. Did they take it down at all?
No. Passed him after sundown, like saw with a headlamp, still wearing it. So
with a tight one-piece suit over his head.
Yeah, all day.
Ankle to
that was super impressive. I think maybe she's the team manager for John G, dressed up as David Roche and nailed that outfit pretty good. Scott Traer was awesome sauce and rocked that outfit
too soon.
Pretty good. I purposefully, like, knowing that I had the same head-to-toe matching kit as Jeff Mogavero, was like...
Well, given the fact that so many people thought you were Jeff...
Yeah, I feel like that costume turned out better than I expected. I could not run in it, though. That wig was incredibly hot.
And how do you think Jeff feels in the race now?
I know. This is a good race if you wanna show some skin. A couple guys out there in Speedos.
Yeah.
Doing their thing. I would not choose a super warm costume. You can be salacious with your choices here. Yeah. I'll have to think on it, Skylar.
It's all right. You got 52 weeks, so no pressure.
Okay. Jamil would be a good one, but that'd just be repurposing this wig.
Yeah.
Just trying to be cost effective here.
Hey, that's Halloween as an adult. It's just like, how many different ways can I use the same costume over and over and just like save money?
Yeah. In the last few minutes, Daniel Zamora just finished 40th overall, M27.
Yeah.
5 minutes ago. And then I think soon enough we're going to expect F14 and F15 coming through. Anna Curtis and April Campbell.
It's wild how fast these times still are.
I know.
We're still sub 20 hours.
Mm-hmm.
40 people under 19. But then again, Western States is starting to get pretty damn close to something like that as well.
Yeah.
The field is getting faster. The field is getting wiser. The field is getting more scientific. The field is getting dialed. But can we keep up? You can. You've got a couple of years behind me.
Young buck. Yeah, we still have, looking at sort of like further down the list, 40 folks in through the 100-mile, but another 500 are through Jackass on their third loop, and that's on pace to still meet the 6 a.m. cutoff, 6:30 a.m. cutoff, to hit that 30 hours. So still a lot of action to go. Like, you're gonna have a lot of fun calling this through the wee hours of the morning. You're not gonna be bored. People are gonna be coming through, streaming on you.
Yeah, I've got the 1 to 3 shift. Not sure who's after, but it should be good. You say the cutoff's 30 hours, or is it 6 a.m.?
So 6 a.m. is the cutoff to start your last loop.
Okay.
If you started in wave 1, and then it's
6:30.
6:30 for wave 2. And then they have 6 hours from there. So noon and 12:30 p.m. respectively.
Got it.
Yeah, you should have some Ryan Van Duzer.
Mm-hmm.
Famous YouTube
Corrector. Yep.
We should be due through in the next hour or so. Anthony Fagundes has had some solid running times. Is due in the next hour or so as well. When does AJW do? We only saw AJW go out, I guess, half an hour ago. So depends how good this second lap is, or this fifth lap is. Yeah, so we had a prediction. Skylar predicted that it was going to be, because usually there's around a 60% finish rate. Because of the heat, he logically guessed it was going to be like 51%. However,
making me look real bad right now.
Yeah, people are doing a lot better than we expected.
Resilience. They're staying strong.
Exactly.
Everybody's more dialed in. My bad. I was unfamiliar with your game. I apologize, world. Yeah, a lot of great things have occurred thus far, and we have another 11 and a half hours of wildness coming at you on the 2024 Javelina Jundred live stream presented by Hoka and The Feed. Make sure you stay tapped in to that Mountain Outposts YouTube channel as I smell smoke in the distance. I'm just like, what's happening here? Somebody lit a match. I hope it's for not fart reasons. Yeah, make sure you stay subscribed. Hit that button. Also hit that thumbs up. Show some love. Helps other people find the stream so they can get inspired. Because not only we have phenomenal friends and families finishing here, but that golden hour is going to be special, and it is. So let's just promote it as much as possible and get people stoked. Also, find Patty O'Leary's LinkedIn and give him a job. We're out here hustling, everybody.
Hustling.
Yeah. Anything you want to promote before you're back here and it looks self-grandizing?
Vote with the planet in mind, folks. I'll stay out of politics beyond that on the live stream.
I have a funny story for you when we break this stream in similar news. But also got to shout out the rest of our sponsors, obviously, Hoka and The Feed, helping bring the live stream to life. But our on-course help from CTS, Goo, Squirrel's Nut Butter. I'm definitely forgetting some. Halos in the mix. I was going to say John. That's not Tonry. The sunscreen will be back in play at 6:45 when the sunrise comes back. Mm-hmm. And just a whole host of volunteers, both on the live stream side and the race op side, helping all of these 1,100 plus runners try to have a successful 30 hours or less here in the desert. Shout out to everyone. You can get involved next year. Head over to javelinajundred.com or airviperrunning.com. Find out what you can do on the volunteer side, on the racing side. Come out here and get weird with us.
My first role participating in Havelina in some form was as the tequila sponsor in 2018.
Oh my!
The tequila brand I represented, Suerte Tequila, was keen, and I was supposed to come down, but I couldn't make it, so I ended up just shipping 4 cases of tequila to Jubilee for Jackass Junction. And in talking to Chris earlier, he was the late night aid station captain at Jackass that year, and he was like, that was an incredibly sloppy year.
Oh my God!
So if you're a tequila brand, you could get involved.
Yeah, Jackass Junction is a special place, fueled by a lot of tequila. Special would take a very new meaning. Yeah. Also, I feel like Jamil had a singlet at one point that was from the brand, so it's had a lasting impact. Put it that way. Hopefully not too poorly on runners' livers. Yeah, we out here. We're having a good time. Patty, we're gonna be getting out of here relatively soon. We're not gonna leave Jeff to his own. He's supposed to have a co-host that's floating around. But I will. Yeah, Pete's Meats. That's who it's supposed to be. So Mortimer will also be joining in studio relatively soon. And I'll also look to make sure we don't need to do a stream switch or something relatively soon. All right, we're going to do it at the same time. So as we are winding down our time here, Patty, first time at Havelina, what are your lasting impressions? And what sort of newfound joy are you going to take with you back home as you prepare for your next race and then whatever 2025 holds for you?
I don't know. The thing that just pops to mind immediately is check quarters here. The tents, all of the aids, all of people in their little crew tents. I was just taking I came here at 9 a.m. I was planning to go for a long run myself. Took me 2 hours to get out on the trail because you see so many people every tent you walk to. You see, oh, there's another friend, there's another person from this state, from this part of the trail running community, catching up with them, whether they're crew, whether they're pacer, whether they're a spectator. The energy and community here is spectacular, and I'm delighted to finally witness it. And it is the main thing that's going to draw me back to come to this race, whether that be as a commentator, whether that be as a pacer, a crew, a volunteer, or as a racer. As we saw with David Roach out there, you build off these vibes, these community vibes.
Yeah.
So keep doing what you're doing here at Havelina. And if you hadn't had, we have 2 of the 3 of us here are here in our first year, and we realised this is one that we should have been coming to for several years, and we're going to be excited to keep coming back to it. So all of you listening in, come experience it.
Yeah, Phoenix Sky Harbor, a very accessible international airport. So come on in.
And Halloween, a holiday, it's like kind of like New Year's. You're like, what? Do I really have good plans for Halloween?
Yeah.
Come down here. This is a great plan for Halloween.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's enough debauchery happening in greater Maricopa County that, like, this might actually be the safest place to have Halloween right now. This morning I was on my run and past Scottsdale Run Club. They were, like, just lined up on the canal, and then just, like, 100 deep just started running down in costume. And I was like, it's like 8 a.m. I can't mess with this right now. So this is actually the place to be, right here in headquarters and out here around the loop. 19 and a half miles of fun. So make sure you head over to Javelina100.com, sign up for volunteer slots for the race next year. Come out and join us and get weird. And if you're like, I don't know if I'm ready for 100 or 100K, Aravaipa has a ton of races throughout the year. All the reason to come down, either down here to Phoenix, the races up in Colorado, the races in Utah. You got the
New Hampshire.
I was going to say White Mountain races out there. You're not hurting for options. So come out and run with a good race organization doing good work. That being said, I think we're ready for a switch, maybe some ad breaks. I'm Skylar Skizzle Fresh. That's Patty O'Leary. Jeff and Pete's Meats are going to take you from here. Stay classy.
Stay classy.
Enjoy yourselves, guys.
Love y'all.